Hey, this is Aaron from AintItComputers.com. Did you know that you are able to make and receive telephone calls over the internet? And no, I'm not talking about services like necessarily like Skype or Google Voice. What I'm talking about is if you have a telephone number, you can call somebody else's telephone number and vice versa. Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss briefly the basics of what is known as VoIP, which is an acronym which stands for Voice over Internet Protocol. If you want to follow along in this video, am going to create a card that should be accessible on the top right hand corner of your screen. Click on the card and I will provide a link to this web page at my website aintitcomputers.com. Also, the uniform resource locator is highlighted on screen, aintitcomputers.com/online-phone-call. Now, if you're looking for inexpensive business and or residential bring your own device, which is also kind of known as voice over internet protocol. So what that means is that if you're looking to bring your own device and you want to use your internet access to place telephone calls, you will want to obtain what is known as VoIP, which is an acronym for Voice over Internet Protocol. Basically, what you do is you dial and receive telephone calls over your existing internet connection. Now, some alternatives like mobile, cell phone, even landline telephone services, they can be expensive, especially if you add in a lot of accessories, voicemail, call waiting. Added features may increase the price significantly. Also, they may charge you a setup fee. Now, there are a plethora of voice over internet protocol phone services already in existence. However, some may require a contract, a year, 2 years, whatever. And some, their monthly fee might be just as expensive, if not more expensive, than cell phone or a plain old telephone service, which is also known as a landline telephone service. Now, I have two types of plans that you could obtain. Pay as you go, there is no setup fee. You might, now at the end of this video, I'm going to briefly go over the tasks that you'll need to accomplish in order to obtain the service. I'll try to make it brief. I'll try to make it as short as I can. Alright? But there's basically two plans. Pay as you go, and also you could sign up for the Get 100 Free Minutes. And I'll go over more details about those two plans later on in this video. But I just want to go over the basics of Voice over Internet Protocol service if you're not familiar with it. Okay, now the pay as you go plan, there is no monthly fee. Currently, in the future these rates could change, but currently right now you can call another individual for 0.012 cents per minute, not 10 cents, a little over 1 cent per minute for the lower 48 United States. Alright, just a little over 1 cent per minute. Now, you can also keep your existing telephone number, but I think I'll wait for that for the end of the video. You know what I'm saying? I'll go over detailed instructions on how you can obtain this service. But for now, I just want to go over the basics if you're not familiar with Voice over Internet Protocol. You know what I'm saying? Now, calls between the lower 48 United States and also Canada are actually less than 1 minute. Excuse me, less than 1 cent per minute. There are no setup fees. There are no long-term commitments, no contracts with the pay-as-you-go plan. Alright? Now, there are these types of technologies. For now, I wouldn't worry about them. You can always learn about them on your own. But you can use an inner asterisk exchange version 2 or a session initiated protocol. Now, to keep things simple, the SIP protocol, which is an acronym which stands for Session Initiated Protocol, is basically software. For example, LinPhone. You may or may not have heard of LinPhone, but LinPhone is a popular software that you install on a computer or device, and it allows you to place and receive calls. And those two technologies are popular. Now, Asterisk is like a phone server. It's similar to PBX, but it's not the same. But it uses the internet. But it is a server. Now, this is where this can be extremely convenient. You can use a Google Android device. You could use an Apple iPhone. You could use a personal computer. You could use a tablet. You can also use software phones. So any computerized device that you can install software, such as a smartphone, a tablet, a laptop, a desktop computer, you can use this service. Now, you can also configure it with an asterisk box, but that's, quite technical, but that's a type of telephone server. Now, this plan also includes a monthly plan. Basically the same features and the same per minute rates. However, you will receive 100 total free incoming and outgoing minutes per month. So every month you'll receive 100 total free and outgoing minutes per month. So that's a total for just a monthly fee of $9.95 per month. There are no long-term commitments, there is no contract, no overage charges, and no setup fees. Now, if you do go over the 100 free monthly incoming and outgoing minutes, then you get charged the same rates as the pay-as-you-go, which is above here. Remember, it was just a little over 1 cent within the 48 United States and less than 1 cent between the 48 United States and Canada. Now, with this service, you can keep your existing telephone number. So this is towards the end of the video, and I'm going to go over more details on how you can obtain this service and how you can start using this service. Now, I do want to become transparent, and I want to warn you that this service is designed for people that have knowledge of voice over internet protocol and some of the acronyms like session initiated protocol, asterisk, etc. It's a bring your own device service. It requires internet access, and you may need to know some technical understanding of voice over internet protocol and also the session initiated protocol. However, you can keep your existing phone number, and for a limited time, I'm not sure how long I can provide this for you, but if you sign up, it really depends on in the future, but as of right now, I can port your telephone number for free. What that means is that if you're not familiar with the term porting, it just basically means you transfer your telephone number. So you have a telephone number, and I'll give you some example companies. I'm not affiliated with them. You know what I'm saying? For example, Quest or Level 3 or American Telephone and Telegraph. So you have telephone service with them, and you have a telephone number. Well, basically they own it's detailed. It deals with CLECs, which is these entities that sell telephone numbers and they control them. So basically you really don't, I'm not going to argue law. I'm not a legal expert, but you think that you own that telephone number. Not necessarily. What happens is that if you want to use that telephone number with another service provider, you have to submit a porting request or a transfer request, which is known as porting in the telecommunications world. Now, with this telephone service, I can port your telephone number for free. That could change in the future, but as of right now, as of the time of this video creation, I can port your telephone number for no charge. Another option is that you can purchase a telephone number alongside this service. Now, I don't want to get too technical, but there's a acronym called DID. DID is just another definition of a telephone number that you use. It's a data, exchange, you know what I'm saying? So there's two ways. You can either have an existing telephone number ported over to this service, or you could purchase a new telephone number. Now, for now, the porting is free. I think the purchasing a new telephone number, there may or may not be a fee. All right? So in order to sign up for free, what you'll want to do is, you'll want to either port a telephone number or purchase a new telephone number. So that's kind of step number one. Step number two is you want to sign up. You'll want to sign up either for the pay-as-you-go plan or the get 100 free minutes. Then, once I receive your sign up, I will then go ahead and contact you via email, and I will activate your account. So you'll need an account. That's step number two. So you want to sign up for an account and then access your online account. You know what I'm saying? Then step number three is you'll want to, let me drink some water here really quickly. You will want to fund your account. So in your account, you'll be able to add funds. You can use a credit card, debit card, and PayPal. Once you fund your account, now this is it. You'll need to fund it so that you can sign up for either the monthly plan or pay as you go. So you'll need you don't need to deposit like $1 million, but you'll need a little bit of money so that when you start using the service, whether it's the monthly fee or the pay as you go fee, you'll have a balance and it will deduct off your balance. Also, if you're wanting to purchase a telephone number at the same time, you'll need a balance to pay, to pay for any setup fee or for the charge for the telephone number. Then, once you accomplish those three tasks, step number 4 would be then you want to familiarize yourself with Voice over Internet Protocol. Now, I warned you that this is not like the Staples easy button. You don't just click on a button and then everything is set up for you. This is more tailored for residential and business clients, customers that want to, have more control over their telephone service, potentially save more money, but that requires a little bit of a technical background or some knowledge. Now, I think that you could learn it on your own. You'll want to know terms like Voice over Internet Protocol. What does that mean? How does that work? A SIP, because SIP, a lot of the phone software, they name it SIP, which stands for Session Initiated Protocol. And then another piece of expertise is you'll just want to be familiar with technology to the point where you can configure whether it's a soft phone that's installed on a computer or tablet or smartphone, or this service also you can use not PBX telephones, but they're very similar. They're VoIP telephones, Voice over Internet Protocol. Cisco makes all kinds of different models. So that's one brand. You don't have to use a Cisco, but I'm just, giving you an example. They look just like the older PBX telephones. Like, for example, at your workplace. In a modern corporate environment, you will notice telephones. You may not know it, but some of those telephones may actually be using the internet for the phone service, and they can call in between, from phone to phone. But this service is where you want to place telephone calls from one telephone number to another telephone number, and even internationally. That is possible. For example, one of the voice over internet protocol telephones, you would log into it, you would go into the administrator, and then you would find where here's a quick example of the image on this blog post. This is actually the menu from a real voice over internet protocol phone that can be configured for this service. You would go into the settings menu, then you want to look for SIP configuration. Alright, now I don't want to get too technical in this video, I'm just giving you an example. So this is the kind of familiarity. Or if you can learn and you can follow instructions, I think you could still use this phone service. And then you would just configure under the session initiated protocol some specific settings. This service requires a user identification number, a password, and then a server. You tell it what server to use, alright? And then, but fundamentally, you use your internet connection. So those 4 major steps should get you going. Like, let's go over again what devices you could use. You could use, like I just stipulated, voice over internet protocol, a telephone that you'll see in a corporate environment, Cisco and other brands. You can use, it's a regular handset. It's got speakerphone and everything. Only it has an Ethernet connection. Some of them may be wireless. And it connects to the server, a local server for this service, and then you can place and receive telephone calls. Another option is smartphones. Any smartphone with an internet connection. Now, I'm not talking about your service provider. No, it would, well actually, yes, you could, as long as it has a data plan, and with that data plan you can access the internet. Then you could install phone software like LinPhone. There's other types of phone software, as long as they are designed for SIP, Session Initiated Protocol. They're, you should be able to configure them. Acacia is another one. There's quite a few different, types of software that's available, and a lot of them are free too. LinPhone is free. It's my preferred one. You do not have to use LinPhone, but that is a popular one. And then what you would do in the software, you would configure it for this service. So you would need to know how to install the software and then configure it. And then also a tablet computer, download software. What else? A desktop computer, a laptop computer. And with this service, any soft phone that will, so the 3 major operating systems are compatible: Linux, Microsoft Windows, and Apple Macintosh. And I would say, Google Chrome. The Chromebooks, whether it's an Asus or Google or whichever brand. As long as you can find and install a SIP, Session Initiated Protocol soft phone, and then you can learn how to configure the settings, you can make and place telephone calls. It just needs internet connection. And I've tested it, because I use this service myself. I have for years. I've been able to place phone calls at motels, at hotels, where else? Airport. I think one time I had to, recently actually. Well, I don't want to make a long story, but I was trying to catch a Greyhound. The bus didn't show up. We found out that there was a car rental company out at the airport. We took a free shuttle to the airport, and then we rented a vehicle and drove to our destination because the Greyhound never showed up. Now at that airport, I think I had my laptop, I had my soft phone, and then I tried and called one of the rental companies. Yes, over the internet, over the airport internet. Connection. Okay, so coffee shops like Starbucks, I've made telephone calls with the service at Starbucks. McDonald's also, I think of once or I think so. Where else am I trying to think of? I think maybe even Target and Walmart. So basically, now I'll give you another warning, but most public Wi-Fi should suffice. You should be able to place telephone calls and receive telephone calls. However, there could be certain situations where maybe that network disallows VoIP traffic, which stands for Voice over Internet Protocol. There's two ports. I don't want to get technical. They may just block those ports, but my experiences throughout the years, just about every place I've ever tried, as long as I had a decent wireless signal, I was able to place telephone calls either on a smartphone, a tablet, and a laptop. And then obviously a desktop computer too. All right. So once again, if you are interested in potentially obtaining inexpensive business and or residential bring your own device that uses the Voice over Internet Protocol service, which just basically means it uses your existing internet access or an existing internet connection, you can sign up for this service. There's two: pay as you go or the $9.95 per month, 100 total free incoming and outgoing minutes. What you would want to do is click on the upper left hand corner. You should see the YouTube card. Look for the card. I will provide a link directly to this webpage on my website, anetcomputers.com. Adios!